Hey guys, I'm going to show you today how to customize this basic growth chart. So first of all, we have just some basic modifications here where you can change the shape of the top, or you could change this to a name if you wanted. You can delete this part if you wanted, or add maybe a middle name I think is cute. You can also change the font to whatever you would like, and that will change the font for all the text there. Now, I want you guys to be able to use this and modify it to any theme that you want to be able to offer. So if you open it up in the Cuttle editor, which you do by hitting these three dots here and then opening in Cuttle editor, it's then going to ask you to make a copy at this point. And then that copy will save to your own folder. Mine did not ask me because I own this project. But let's get started. So I think that I will show you guys how to maybe add like some flowers on the edges of the pieces here. So I'm going to drag an emoji onto my screen, and then over here on the right, I can select which emoji I like. So I just searched for flower here, and I liked this one. I thought it was fun. I'm going to resize it so that it looks how I might want it, and position it where I also might want it. So I like it there. So what I'm going to do, because I want this to be a 3D layered design, so I want my backer to have the shape of the flower that extends beyond it welded to it. And then I want a secondary piece that I'm going to put on top, probably in acrylic. So first thing I'm going to do is copy and paste this. You can do Command C, Command V on a Mac, or Control C, Control V, or you can just do Command D for duplicate. And now I have two copies of it. So what I want to do, like I said, is I'm going to weld this one to this arch. Now, when I hover my mouse over this, you can see that everything is selected together. That's because I have grouped it all here, so that you don't accidentally move any of these little tick marks. But we don't want to weld this to everything because that will make all your little details disappear. We want to weld this only to the outline. So let's go into this group here, just expand it and find where our outline is. So you can see here, that's the top text, that's the other text, that is the 5 feet mark. And then we have the top, which looks like the whole outline and the tick marks. And then so in that is our top. So you can see the rectangular top there and the arch. We want to use the arch. So that is there. So what I'm going to do is I want to drag my emoji to be in with this arch so that I can weld them together. So you can see that I don't want this one here. So I'm just hovering my mouse over these emojis here. So I want this one. I'm just going to click and drag it to be right underneath this arch. So now it's in this group and I can easily weld them together. So I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to select both the emoji and the arch. So you can see now they are both selected, and I'm going to go to modify Boolean union. Now, obviously this took on the fill of the flower and we don't want that. So I'm just going to actually click on the fill there in the gray, and I'm going to delete that fill. So now if we click out of it, you can see that it has been welded to the outside. So you can see here that there is a hole, and obviously we do not want that. So I'm going to click into this again. So I'm just double clicking to select only this outline shape here. So that looks like it there. You can tell nothing else is in blue, so nothing else is selected. And then again, I'm going to go to the modify menu and just say remove holes. So now I have my flower welded to there, so it will have something to be mounted on when I cut this one out. Obviously, I'm going to change this from a fill to a stroke, so I know that I'm cutting it, and you'll be able to see that it fits perfectly on there. Now, if you wanted to cut out the middle section of the flower in a different color, what you would do again is duplicate this. So I'm doing Command D. I'm going to drag that over. So I only want to keep the middle part here. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to say edit, convert to paths, because right now it's an emoji. And then again, edit, release compound path. So now we have our two paths here. One is this outside and then one is the inside. And I'm just going to delete the outside. So now I have this perfectly shaped center that will fit exactly in there once I cut it. So if you wanted to add more, you could go ahead and do that to the other sections. And that's how you would add an icon that goes out beyond the border of the growth chart.